I started exploring a lot of technologies, and that's how I got to know about hackathons in the first place. And I am pretty sure many of you here would love to, experience a hackathon. And it is a sort of event that alters your life, uh, plans and goals, because hackathons has provided me with a lot, and I am here to share it back with the community. So these are some of my achievements. You can read it through, and you can see it on my LinkedIn. So what basically is a hackathon? A hackathon is a maker space where like-minded folks come together and work on a project. So okay, how many of you here know what is a hackathon? Or do I see any hands raising up?
No idea in particular.
Oh, great. Close to 20, 25 people know what is a hackathon. And hopefully by the end of the session, everyone gets a crystal clear idea as to what a hackathon is and how they can ace in a particular hackathon. So the first myth is that people assume that hackathons is equal to hacking. We get into, that is a different space. That comes under cyber security. Hackathons is basically uh, a space for you to select a problem statement and sort of work with a team on it and deliver the final solution. It needs to be a feasible solution such that it can be implemented in a real world sense, as well as uh, the financial and legal structures of the solution that you propose also need to be in alignment of the problem statement. So it gives you the right platform to explore cutting edge technologies such as chatbots, AI, ML, data science, and all of these technological trends will help you, sort of keep your track in the CS fields, which is obviously going to help you later down the line when you apply for your placements or your masters. So as I said earlier, it is just for a space where you choose a problem statement that you are passionate about and solve it using creative solutions. It might be a little intimidating at the beginning, but it will definitely open the doors to a lot of different things. Side note, with the help of hackathons, I have met amazing people like CFO of Swiggy and founder of Aether Energy. So hackathons is your doorway to success, because if you don't learn to fall, you'll never learn to fly. uh, these are just the formalities of a hackathon. What is a hackathon, who can take part of a hackathon. We'll get into the serious stuff after some time. So here are few questions that I would like everyone to answer. Are you someone who is very curious about how things really work? With just a show of hands, could you just show, are you curious enough to learn how something works? Oh, amazing. Have you ever researched something that is intriguing, or have you ever pitched an idea, how they do it on Shark Tank, something like that? Oh, awesome, awesome. So these are basic steps of a hackathon, wherein there comes idea, there comes action, and there comes feedback. So each of this is a process, and it would get better as you take part in a lot of hackathons. So if you find answering yes to any of these questions, hackathons would be the best place for you. But in general, anyone can take part in a hackathon. There are a few stages in a hackathon. So first comes the problem selection stage, wherein the organizing team would release a set of problem statements that they hope to get the solutions for. So your team needs to select a problem statement that you think can be solved using the technical know-how of what you can deliver. So after problem statement, you will form your team, and after your team is formed, you'll either do the idea pitching or the registration, and then there will be a primary shortlisting. Because when they do the PR of a hackathon, it would spread across entire nation now that it's online. So they'll have to do a primary shortlisting. And after, if your idea gets selected, you would be entering the project building phase. And after you build the project is when you will be pitching the project to the judges or the concerned people. So this would be the stages of a hackathon. I don't exactly want you to note it down because I'll be sharing this entire document at the end of the session. So stay tuned till then. What is required? What knowledge is required? It is a question that I answer many times to juniors, that do I need to learn AI? Do I need to learn ML? Or do I need to learn data science? Or any field for that matter? In theory, you don't require any technical knowledge, because you can use simple tools like Figma or Thunkable to prototype your solution. But to maintain an upper hand in the hackathon, coding definitely comes into handy. You can see that the Smart India Hackathon winners are never from the same technical background. There won't be a team only from CS department or ECE department or EEE department or CCE department. There'll be a mixture of all of the best from each department, so that it would become like a Swiss knife for you. So coding is only required at the final stage of a hackathon, when you're making the prototype and when you're pitching it. But as engineers, we tend to ignore the pitching and the presentation part. But that is what will help you to actually win the hackathon. Your presentation and your pitching skills need to be the best. And it is okay to agree that, I am not good at presenting, so I let my teammate present. Because only after accepting that you don't know, that's when learning begins. Right? I hope you guys are with me. Awesome.
Yes, bro. Yes, bro.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there are various formats of a hackathon, wherein, some hackathons are over 24 hours, some are over 48 hours long, and some are over 6 months to 1 year, which eventually end up at a startup, or they attain funding for research. There are various hackathon projects from our own college that ended up getting funding. You can check out Amrita TBI for that. And there are different traditions of hackathon as well, because you might find that some hackathons are hosted by universities. For example, Smart City Hackathon was hosted by Amrita in collaboration with Honeywell. So university hackathons are for people like us to explore various sectors of technology. There is also business hackathon, which is primarily for people looking for jobs and internships at a particular company. For example, there are many data science companies that require people to clean their data. And if they find anyone impressive enough, they'll hire them during the hackathon itself. I hope everyone just mutes themselves. Thank you. Then comes the organizational hackathon, which happens on a pan-India level or global level. Some examples are Smart India Hackathon, Toykathon, Indo-Swiss Hackathon. The primary goal of these sort of hackathons are to create a global impact. The themes for such hackathons would be aligned to sustainable development goals, such as climate change or poverty reduction, stuff like that. And side note, one of my team is actually the finalist for hackathon, Toykathon Hardware Edition, and we hope to emerge as winners. So essential stuff that is required for a hackathon, the entire preparation phase for a hackathon is very essential, and you will have to at least check 4 of these things. So one is the team. Your team needs to have a sort of synergy and camaraderie that you follow in the team. It needs to be ethical, but of course the entire point is to have fun at a hackathon, explore stuff, and not get into dirty politics. So your team would be the Swiss knife that you carry, and you also need to sort of get team members who are not the best, but have an attitude of learning, so that down the line they may eventually turn out to be your co-founders. So in hackathon spaces, people require 3 to 4 students to join as a combined team, and they need to be very passionate about the solution that they are solving. A mentor is also a requirement for some hackathons, so you can get some faculty member or some senior to pitch in as the mentor for your team. And then the quintessential part is an idea, because without an idea there won't be a project, right? All said and done, the idea would only be worth it if the team actually implements it. So some initial idea, and your team needs to at least know the basics of how it needs to be implemented. So for example, let's say there's a team that wants to build an AI powered chatbot. They need to know at least basics of Python. They need to know their way googling around stuff. They need to know how to use Stack Overflow if at all they get stuck at some bug. So all of these stuff can only be discovered when you actually uh, join a hackathon and take part in one. Because until then this would just appear as Greek and Latin, because you might feel that what is this Darshan saying, I don't even understand shit. It is fine. You once you go there, all of this would make sense. uh, where can I find a hackathon? It is a Now that it's online, there are these websites that host hackathons, namely Devfolio Hacker or Dare to Compete, DevPost. But I'll give you an idea of how hackathons used to be. Offline hackathons. That it would be like a proper event in the with the entire community sense. You would have an opening ceremony. The teams would actually socialize among each other, and then only form teams then and there itself to sort of work on the solution. So that would be teamwork start. And checkpoint one is basically even the organizing team needs to stay motivated, right? So they would have a set of volunteers who just check up with team as to whether that team is first formed, or that they have started with the idea, or what is their plan for the next 2 days, stuff like that. Then that would be the breakfast session, where people can again socialize and network with other teams and sort of get to know where they stand with their solution. Checkpoint two is when the mentor from the organizing team would come and officially sort of check the entire coding part of your hackathon project. That'll be a chill evening session where again teams can socialize and network. And checkpoint three is the it marks the end of the working stage of the hackathon. You can't code any of the stuff anymore, but you can still work on your presentation and your pitch, right? So the entire of day three is when you start dry running your pitch and testing all the different permutation and combination as to how you could perfectly deliver your solution. Because in your head you think that the solutions that you have shown are the best, and you have an idea of all the features of a solution, but the judge wouldn't know that, right? Just a minute, I just have got a call. Just a minute, I'm sorry for this interruption.
Yeah, no problem, Darshan. Do you guys have any questions you want to ask?
Until then, Jagdish, I request you to sort of share screen and show some of the websites that I mentioned, Devfolio and stuff like that, because it'll take some 2 minutes for me. I'll just be back.
Sure. I'll have the Q&A. Regarding the WhatsApp link, guys, I hope you're in the Discord channel as well. I'll share the WhatsApp link now. Meanwhile, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat box.
Does it require to install any software, sir?
You mean a hackathon?
Yes, sir.
No. And please don't call me sir. I'm just in the first year. Yeah, there is by means of software. What do you mean? Like any prerequisite for doing your project? You mean, or
Any
for a
special
hackathon
apps
is just a
installed?
contest, right?
Okay.
So will the PPT be shared, which is being presented by sir?
Yeah. We'll be sharing the document as well.
Okay.
With regard to the earlier question, so hackathon is basically just a contest where we sign up and to summarize that, I would say, one second, let me just post the WhatsApp group link. Join this if you are not already part of any of the groups. So we have G1, G2, G3, three groups. Please be there in just one group. You don't need to be there in multiple groups because we'll be cascading all the information in all the three groups.
Hello,
Yeah.
bro. I have something to ask. Whether you have got any idea, like, yeah, I should have learned that in the last year. Yeah, I should have seen about this topic while studying or while coding. I may be like that. Any of you got like that things in your mind when you're doing or when you're studying?
Yeah, that is true. That is I would say that's basic human nature, right? Like each time we do something new, we might think, okay, I could have done this before. I could have taken that opportunity to learn this. But that's just the normal process. You don't have to regret it really, but just make sure that if you want to really learn something, just go ahead and learn because Google is our ultimate. What should I say? It's like the ultimate resource where you
Learning
can
curve.
find everything. Anything. I think you were more towards asking what skills were there. I would say if you are interested into web development, like some basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you can learn those because and those are not nowadays. Those are not really computer science specific per se. Like anyone who wants to do a website, they can just learn that, and it's something easy to learn as well. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So what
How we
about
can learn that in Google? About
Excuse me.
website.
Hi, I'm back. We will take the
Hi,
questions at the end, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Please do put your questions in the chat box, guys.
Yes.
We'll just have that one last question. Someone had asked
Awesome.
about.
Cool.
Could you please
yeah?
repeat?
Was it someone else or is it?
No, it's you only, Abhijit.
Oh, yeah. So what about others like non-CSE majors? How do they catch up on topics which are not taught in the syllabus? Like if they just have an interest for it, like will there be enough resources to help them?
Yeah, I hope you're talking about coding, right? Coding
Yeah.
and basically any computer science related course. Are you talking about resources from college side or in general what resources are available?
Like I'm not a CSE. I'm not a CSE major. Like I'm from the aerospace department. But if I'm still interested, will it like so? How do I catch up? That's my question.
Got it. So yeah, so there are many websites. Some useful ones are Geeks for Geeks, W3 Schools, and Darshan, do you have anything to add on?
Lead code. Lead code.
Yeah, Lead Code if you want to practice. So if you're going to learn, right, Geeks for Geeks and W3 Schools is going to have all the explanation for all the concepts in computer science under the sun. Almost all, I would say. If you can use these
Please share
for
the link.
understanding
There is an entire session about coding and data structures
Yeah.
coming up the entire week. So we request for little patience,
Okay.
and we'll hope to deliver a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
Abhijit,
just to give-
don't worry. There isn't like a catch-up game because all of the CSE majors are itself, more like self-taught programmers nowadays.
Right.
Yeah. Fine. Okay.
Awesome. So we have done this, right? So pitch session would be the best part of the entire session because you would, see what the other teams have been building, and you would sort of get a realistic idea as to what ideas are actually appreciated and which ones are not that worthy. Okay. and then the winner announcement and all of the post hackathon formalities would happen. So this would look like the entire typical timeline that you do during and pre and post a hackathon, right? So pre-hackathon, as I mentioned earlier, you'll have to brainstorm the idea, you'll have to form the team, you'll have to come up with an abstract. I will show what an abstract is. You'll also have to get a bona fide if at all the organizing committee requires. So a bona fide is just a piece of Amrita's letterhead A4 paper, wherein your name, roll number would be written and will be officiated as representatives of Amrita. And during the hackathon, you'll be implementing the solution that you proposed using your abstract. You will also need to stay connected to the hack organizers, either through Slack or Discord, for smooth communication and coordination. You'll have to draft a business model. This isn't exactly what engineers do, but there are hackathons that as I said earlier, business hackathons, they require a business model for your solution, right? So I'll be sharing all of those resources later. You'll also have to draft the pitch deck, that is the presentation, and a video pitch if required, because on the judging panel there will also be people from non-engineering backgrounds, let's say finance or commerce. They'll need to understand your solution in very layman terms. So a video pitch would be like a first draft or an advertisement to your solution. Post hackathon, what a team or a participant needs to do is networking with peers. You will have to network with probably like 50% of people that participate in the hackathon, because let's be honest, that's how you form your connections on LinkedIn. In fact, when I actually started hacking, I only knew people from my own class, my own section, my own department, right? And when I started networking with people, I got to know some wonderful seniors who have helped me a lot in both personal and professional life. There have been connections all over India right now because of hackathons, and it is the right platform for you to connect based on technology or evolving stuff. You will also have to collect important documents and benefits from the organizer. Important documents being certificate of participation or acknowledging that you have been an integral part of this hackathon. There'll be some swags that they distribute after the hackathon that might come handy if you are into that stuff. You will also need to collect feedback on your idea from the jury that is evaluating you, because you can sort of get better in places where you missed the bus. So for example, let's say your idea was innovative, but your implementation was not that great. This is the sort of feedback that you want to hear from the organizing committee, so that okay, where to work on. And then there's always the future scope of a particular idea to turn into a research publication or a startup. So as mentioned earlier, this is a abstract sample that you submit during the ideation phase. A typical abstract would have all of these features. First, you need to mention the background as to what your project is all about. So this is a sample project of mine. It is called Project Apada. Apada in Hindi translates to in times of disaster. So this is a disaster management app that would alert users in a particular area, give them helpline numbers, and at the back end we also use ML to sort of predict how bad the disaster would be. So this is the background. You gotta put some research work into this. You need to put statistics into this, and basically the motivation behind this hackathon your project. The next would be the problem statement. I think everyone has an idea as to what a problem statement is. Else not, it is just a problem that you observe in the day-to-day life. It doesn't have to be a very complex problem, such as computing the nth edge of a graph. It doesn't have to be so complex. It can be very, very simple. So that is about problem statements. To actually know more about problem statements, you can log on to Smart India Hackathon's problem statement sets. There are a lot of problem statements available online that you can simply tinker with. The next would be the abstract. This is how you sort of explain your solution in very layman terms, the actual solution itself for engineers. Then there is the tech stack that needs to be used, the sort of rough figurative idea as to how you would be implementing your solution, the team, the app UI example, and about the project itself. So this is a generic abstract submission document. I hope that's clear. Then this is a pitch deck sample. So this is a software and hardware based project. So for teams that are non-CS, this is where you will have to pay more attention. So this is a project of ours with the team Brain Bucket. It is a brilliant team that has done a lot of accomplishments. I'm sure you would have seen it on our Instagram or college website. So what we did was, we sort of designed a smart helmet that would essentially combine features like navigation, healthcare facilities, and all sort of stuff into the helmet itself. So that was the idea. So the introduction slide, it goes like that. And then you need to sort of analyze the market that you want to sell your product to, right? So that is market pay, market size that your product aims to capture at. Then you need to provide the innovation or the technology that you plan on using in the product, the value proposition that your product delivers to the customer. So we had various variants of the same product. A variant would sort of scale down to children's riding bicycle, wherein we given GPS facilities, monitoring the health of the child, safety features. All of these stuff need to be explained in the PPT because the judging panel, as I said, weren't technical people. They were business-minded people, right? So even for them to understand this is the right way of pitching your idea. If they always, you can always deliver the technical stuff because you are well prepared as engineers for that, right? I hope you guys get my point. You'll also have to analyze the market, get to know some of the legal stuff behind a product, because if at all you plan on potentially converting the idea to a startup, you'll have to read a lot about businesses and how businesses work. So existing competitions that you have, that is you sort of tell that, okay, the previous product doesn't have so and so features, or it is at a very high cost, and then you propose that your solution is much more better at a very cheaper price. That's how you sort of compete with the existing competitors. Then you provide a status update as to your prototype development stage. You can also include a video. This video is hyperlinked. I can share that if required, to your actual product, and a code would conclude the presentation. Any questions as of now? Any questions yet?
Bro, how we know that the problem is already done or not? I mean, my idea is already done by someone of my seniors.
Yes, amazing, good, very good question, bro. So what exactly happens is, you might feel that an idea is okay, it just popped up in my head, it is new, but that problem statement might already be solved. So your best friend would be Google. You need to sort of put 2-3 keywords matching your topic. So let's say your idea is smart sticks for blind people. It might already be implemented, so you just need to search for your project title on Google, because the generic terms for a project would still be the same, right?
Yes.
So Google is one, and you can also use Google Scholar, because all of the research publications would actually be published there or on IEEE.
Okay.
Right?
Despite all
Bro,
that, sorry.
bro, actually, I need to say something. If a project is repeated and it should be more efficient, like Porsche also does electric car, Tesla also does it.
Yes,
but
yes.
Tesla is more popular and more efficient. So it should be our project should make more efficient than other project. So we should then next step we should concentrate on more efficiency. In the worst case, if many projects are repeated.
I take it that this was more like a answer to the earlier question, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, you were right. Who's that?
Despite all that, if we manage, despite all that, if our idea is not unique, then what would happen? Like,
So basically, at the evaluation end, they would have criterias for your project. They would have criterias like idea, novelty of the idea, implementation, uh, all sorts of metrics for your idea to be judged on. So it won't be a biased judging, but you might score low marks on the idea category, but your implementation might be very good, right?
okay. And I had one more question.
Yes.
What soft skills do we need for participating in a hackathon, and how do we develop on them
Yeah,
before?
I will be speaking about that a
Okay.
little later.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. So
And to actually add on, right, you guys were asking about repeating solutions. In most hackathons, they would be actually releasing a set of problem statements for you to choose from. So in that case, when you are actually talking with respect to that particular competition, you don't have to worry about that problem already having solutions because most problems do have solutions. You'll just have to look at how you are going to solve it and have that edge, as someone had said, right? Like efficiency, the difference from the other solutions that would make yours stand out. So as Darshan said, right, that would really help you in the evaluation stage. Yeah. Over to you, Darshan.
cool. So as mentioned earlier, the future of a hackathon project never stops at the hackathon stage itself. You can take the project forward, get some more people or mentors to work on it, release a research paper. In fact, this is one of the research works that originally evolved as an idea during the hackathon, and fortunately we also won that hackathon, and we with a lot of effort we converted that into a research paper. I hope you guys are aware that if you publish one research paper which is Scopus indexed, you can get an upgradation in your CGPA. Basically, there will be an upgradation of a lower grade to a higher grade, which is up to 10 marks can be added to your end semester's exams. Were you guys aware of that? Just by a quick show of hands. Okay, no one was aware of that. Cool.
Yeah, and you also get a distinction degree when you graduate, right? If you published a paper, then you get a distinction badge on your degree certificate.
Yes. And you can also convert your idea to a startup. And there is this one place in Amrita that actually allows makers to tinker on their projects. It's called Cisco Thinkubator. You might be receiving the PR for that stuff a little later. Let's not do it over here. And yeah, this is what I really want to talk about. Is it as easy as it seems? Because all of these achievements come with a lot of failure attached to it. Failure is a part of this. In fact, it is the major part of this. And I had won my first hackathon only after competing in 15 hackathons, after being rejected by a few hackathons, and after getting rejected at the ideation stage, some at pitching stage, some at prototyping stage. It is just after a lot of failure that you get that success, and once that success hits you, there is no going back after that. So just stick on to this and do what you love, do what you're passionate about, come up with creative solutions to solve a problem, and the and things would work out. All the pieces will sort of fit into the puzzle. One question that I myself am asking myself a lot is that how do you deal with imposter syndrome? Okay, in fact, before a few days only, I had analyzed that okay, I have something called as imposter syndrome. it is when you sort of doubt your own achievements. You look back and see that, okay, was I even deserving enough for this? The only way to get out of imposter syndrome is, I don't know, but in my experience is to not think and work a lot for your final goal, and it is good in sometimes, but it also has its negative effects. And it sorts of the hackathon vibe itself would help you to overcome imposter syndrome, because you will socialize with a lot of people, so you won't have a lot of time to self introspect, right? One more question that I get asked a lot is, why are women less in this space? It is very true that a lot of women don't actually take part in hackathons, or they are intimidated by it, or they don't find team members or like-minded people. But I request all the ladies in the call to just sort of break that barrier and work with people who are actually talented enough, and yeah, just work for it. Pieces will automatically fall in place. So FAQs, this is where it gets fun. How does one get new ideas? So what is the inspiration source? Your inspiration can be anything. You can either read a bunch of problem statements, select one which you think is worthy enough for your time, or you can read a newspaper and get an idea how to solve an economic crisis, or anything of that sort. So your inspiration can be anywhere. In fact, what I feel is that many people have an idea, but they fear that if they communicate to someone else, they might steal the idea. I would like to clarify that an idea is not worth it if it's not implemented. So you will have to speak that idea out to mentors, potential teammates, and sort of get their inputs as well, because that's how a successful project is built, right? It is only with a lot of teamwork, team effort, that a project meets its ends. So where do you consume knowledge from? I generally consume a lot of my knowledge from YouTube channels such as Bloomberg, uh, a lot of these coding academies and stuff like that. I follow a lot of current affairs, so I know what are the problems on ground and how technology can solve it. So there are a lot of problems in India. India doesn't lack in problems. So it is all about choosing that one correct problem that you think can be solved using technology, and you sort of build the solution for it. How to deal with failures at hackathons? You just need to stop thinking. You need to get back to the drawing board and give your 100% for the next one, because there are a lot of factors that affect during a hackathon. Some might be very silly, that you didn't fill a particular form, because I personally have been rejected from a lot of hackathons because I forgot to fill a form, or some formality, or the idea itself wasn't that great. So it is all about trying it once again without losing hope. How to get inspired by other projects? As a beginner, I never invested time to sort of understand other people's projects, because I always thought that, okay, this is probably time waste. I'll just present my idea and then I'll move on to my college work. But it is only after you see a lot of projects that the dots in your brain start to connect. Okay, how can this problem be solved using technology, and how another problem from another domain can be correlated from another problem in a completely different domain, right? So get a lot of content that is actually useful to you, understand a lot of problems that is relevant in the current society, and try to solve it using technology. As mentioned before, how to juggle between courses and hackathons and all of the other different challenges in the name of hackathon. So by challenges, I mean that there are various versions of hackathons. Okay, there is something called as Ideathon, which doesn't actually require you to build the solution which is hard coding. It just requires you to make build an idea, do a presentation pitch for it, and sort of lay the business model for the idea that you have been talking about. So this is what I mean by challenges. The coding challenges will be talked later in the further sessions. Coming back to the question, how to juggle between courses and hackathons. So as students, I feel that we have been dumped into a sort of controlled swimming pool where we just flap our hands to learn to swim. That's how basically any engineer becomes an engineer. He tinkers with a lot of stuff, and the one which works out for him is what he pursues later. There is definitely a lot of guidance from mentors, faculty, from Amrita, but you'll have to put in a lot of effort from your own side, right? And most of the advice that I give is something that you guys don't want to hear, because what I would say is just practice and work a lot, do a lot of hard work. And I understand it is difficult right now in the entire COVID situation, but I hope it gets better. So if you guys need any more reasons to take part in a hackathon, those would be the insanely huge cash prize that comes very handy in a college situation, because once you're back to hostel, money will flow like water, because a lot of fun stuff would happen in the hostel. Then it also builds your profile, which increases value for your entire shot at placements or applying to masters. Then the immense learnings from the entire hackathon phase, wherein you get to tinker with a lot of technologies, and the network building that will show on your profile later. The bragging rights also speak for itself. Here are some useful links that I'll share later. These are some links that are either resourceful for a hackathon or websites for hackathon themselves. You can just sign up on DevFolio and start to sign up for your first hackathon. So I'll open the platform for questions now, because there is a small activity that we have planned. I'll send the activity form link in the chat box so that people can start answering, and I'll take questions side by side.
Yeah, regarding the activity, guys, it's like a small ideathon sort of a thing. Once you open the form, you'll be able to see there's a space for you to give your problem. So it's just a basic activity.
Yeah.
This form will be open for the next 24 hours. So you don't have to like fill them right now, but if you really want to, you can. It'll close tomorrow 7 p.m. So do put in your ideas in that. We've given a set of problem areas and also some sample problem statements which you can use if you don't find the problem on your own, which we highly encourage you to do. You might have a problem in mind which you want to solve, or even the process of exploring and finding a problem is in itself fruitful. So you can use this opportunity to dive deep into that. We'll be, after all these forms responses are collected, we'll be publishing some best problems and ideas for solutions on our socials, so you guys can follow us there.
Yeah, this process would actually help you a lot, because this is the same exact process that applies to a generic hackathon. You have to propose a problem statement, you'll have to come up with solution, and the a sort of low level idea as to what technology that you guys plan on using. So I really encourage you guys to sort of frame your own problem statements. Okay, so some questions are there also teams in the campus which are recruiting beginners, or do we have to make them on our own? To answer, sorry?
By the way, like in that form for the problem statement, is there a limit of characters?
No, there is no limits on characters, I believe.
Do you know any YouTube channel that
train on hackathons?
Yeah, from zero level.
No. There aren't any channels pertaining to hackathons. There are many channels for coding and getting to know about hackathons, but you won't find a channel about hackathons, because hackathons in general are a very broad topic. You meet people from all sorts of technical areas, and it is a huge topic, because it is only after experience that you sort of gain all of these knowledge, right? And it can't be conveyed in a video format, wherein for a typical coding video, you would have the question, you would have someone explaining the solution and then typing the code out. This sort of process can't be applied on hackathons, because what you will be solving is completely related to the real world problems, right?
Yeah. So therefore, we can only learn about it by enrolling in.
Yes, you can. It is more of an exploring corner, right? Because engineering provides you with the amazing opportunity of hackathons, and it will sort of open a lot of doors, as I said earlier. Because of hackathons is, it is why I am before you to explain all of this topic. And it provided me a gateway to sort of interact with top company officials, board members, and other stuff.
Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like you said, like a team should have people from various departments and should have different qualities. But when we are starting out as a beginner, how do we like have such a team? How do you find such a dynamic team without
I really
enough
don't know the
networking?
answer to your question, because I was socializing in a time when COVID never really existed. So I knew people from other departments, but I'm not sure as to how you guys actually socialize among other departments. I believe there is a Discord server, but it is very difficult to find talented people in an online environment. I do understand that. But uh, to begin, you can sort of form teams with your own friends, or people your own department would be fine. It is just that they need to work diligently and passionately towards the solution.
Yeah.
Also, about the question I asked regarding the skills we need, are you gonna tell about that in the coming days, or?
Okay, so skills, as in the soft skills that are very very primary in this, is basic understanding of how businesses work. If at all you plan on going for a business hackathon, they would expect you to draft a business model. You would need presentation and pitching skills. So I think CIR would help you in that department, because they'll have a lot of these group discussion sessions, wherein you need to formulate an idea and deliver the solution to an entire bunch of people. So it is only with a lot of experience that you filter yourself and make yourself better. So the soft skills are basic primary talking skills, able to communicate your idea to team members and judges. Yeah, that would be it.
Okay, doesn't have to do anything with coding and programming, right?
That would be a technical knowledge that is very very primary. If at all you want to have a winning shot at a technical hackathon, because
Okay.
it is only with a lot of good coding and building better solution that you would be able to present it well as well, right?
Okay. Okay.
And when it comes to coding, right, what I feel is that you have a very generic idea of coding. We just need to write C++ code, but there are many domains in computer science, and each of this will be discussed in the upcoming sessions. There is data science, there's machine learning, there's AI, there is AR VR, there's blockchain. So it really depends on your solution that you propose and what technology you choose on using. Because see, in my own projects, there are teams that I work with on IoT part and big data analysis. There are teams that I work on ML, and data science. So it really depends on your solution and which field you are good in at coding. I
Okay.
hope I have answered that.
Thank you.
Yeah. To add on to that, right? 1 second, Ananya, sorry to interrupt. I guess many people have the same question which you asked. Basically asking, is hackathon and coding the same? Definitely, it is not the same, guys. Coding only it comes at the final stage where you make a prototype for the final, only strictly confining to a hackathon process, right? So only in the final stage of where you require to make a prototype and do the final presentation, you are gonna need some coding, right? And there are also other tools like as Darshan mentioned, Figma, InVision, etc., which you can use to make mockups. And hackathon is general. So if you go to, let's say, a specific hackathon, like let's say AI hackathon, chatbot hackathon, then if you go to such specific ones, in the final presentation where you have to show a prototype, a bit of coding would be expected. But hackathon and coding is not the same. Just to reiterate, right? Hackathon, it's more of how you approach a problem, what's your thinking process in solving a problem, how well you design a solution, and also the soft skills of presentation and pitching. So definitely, I think now you guys are sure that hackathon and coding is not the same. Coding is just a tool that you'll use in a hackathon. And if you can just open the SIH website, Darshan, since you're already screen sharing, we can show them that there is so SIH is Smart India Hackathon. Darshan, are you screen sharing or shall I? Okay, I think Darshan is having a network issue. Let me just share my screen. Right. Is my screen visible, guys?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, so you can see this Smart India Hackathon. This is one popular thing that happens every year. And we recommend all of you to participate and give it a try. As you can see, there is SIH Junior and there is SIH Senior. SIH Junior is for students from 6 to 12. So hackathon is not something really technical that you need a degree or you need to be in college or something. These things are participated by even school students from 6th standard. So you don't really have to worry about the technical aspect of it. You guys will obviously be in SIH Senior. So it's more about how you envision in solving a particular problem. So this is one good resource, Smart India Hackathon. And then if you have a look at DevFolio, you can see the sheer number of hackathons that are there. Almost every week, some or the other company or some platform is going to conduct a hackathon. And hackathon is just a fancy word. Basically, it is you find a problem and you give an idea to solve that problem. And in most cases, you will do a prototype to just say how your solution would work. And only in the next stages, after you go with the hackathon where you are totally interested in, making it a project to fully solve it, publish a paper. In that case, you are going to require some technical coding skills in order to, publish, do the publishing and all that. And most of the companies right now, I think you guys would have heard about unicorns, right? Zomato and all that. So they were actually startup ideas. So from hackathons, you also go to startups, as Darshan mentioned. So in that case, yeah, you would require coding, but generally coding should not be an impediment. And we really hope that you don't have this animosity towards coding, because I think you guys know CBSE is including coding right from high school, that is 10th or 11th, in the school syllabus. So it's really something that is just a tool that you can learn easily. And we also have other 101 sessions coming up, like Programming 101, where we'll just demystify coding to you. Any other questions? Over to you,
Yeah. Is there any preferred language when it comes to hackathons?
Preferred language in the sense? Preferred coding language?
Yeah, for coding.
No, there is no. So hackathon is an open-ended event, right? In very specific cases where you go and find some hackathon, they might have some rules, but that is generally not the case. In general hackathons, it's like you give a solution that they might have some constraints on what all you need to solve, and how you are going to implement is totally up to you. They are not going to say use this to implement, use that to implement.
Yeah, fine. Thanks.
Awesome. Any more questions, guys?
Yeah, so for example, if we take an Dayfolio hackathons, so how could you find a hackathon for beginners, or is everything is for beginners also?
You can just take part at any hackathon, because a hackathon would generally have three sorts of people. One who are completely beginners, people whom you can relate to. There'll be some average coders and who have been to a certain hackathons but haven't really won a lot of hackathons. Then there would also be people who are pro at hacking. They just come to sort of flex their project and get the cash prize. So you don't have to worry about the other set of people that are there. You just need to focus on your own project, and eventually with evolution, you will sort of get to that pro level, right? So you can take any hackathon on Devfolio and start with it.
Yeah, thank you.
It just seems difficult until it's done. Okay, I hope people have started filling the Ideathon sheet.
Yeah, and SIH is also a beginner level hackathon only, guys. Like, it's open for all. I think we've had some winners in SIH from our college.
Yes,
right?
the past years teams and all have won. In fact, a number of teams actually won at SIH.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
last year's
SIH wasn't conducted this year.
Yeah, I think last year's or 2020's SIH, right? Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi was also he was in one of the panels. Like, people, the final round people, they were presenting to him. So if you like make it till there, it'd be like a really good honor.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, hackathon is your doorway to a lot of successes that you would not expect, because personally it has given me a lot, and it is still giving me a lot. And I just want everyone that is on this call to explore hackathons, and it is a very magical journey. Trust me, guys.
Yeah, it's like a holistic. It would develop your skills in a holistic manner, right? Not just technical, but the way you think would actually be affected by hackathon. When you look at the other projects and you start ideating and brainstorming of various problems and how to solve them, looking at edge cases, like you might have a solution in mind, then you might think, okay, this solution is only for this set of people. How would I solve it for this other set of people? For example, right, you can get inspiration from anything. If you right now, you guys must know that the East Coast is getting battered by a storm. Chennai is flooded. Many places are flooded. So you can actually get a problem statement from that. How do I connect people who do not have internet to emergency services? That can be a great problem. When you start thinking in that terms, right, you start to understand how solutions have to be in order to completely solve a problem.
Oh, great. So,
any more questions?
Will you select the idea and the solution which is filled in the forms, bro?
Yeah, we'll go through them and we'll publish some best solutions and ideas on our socials.
Okay. One or any 3 or 5?
You can submit the form multiple times. Yeah, someone also had asked, what if we have many ideas? You mean solutions to a particular problem? You can just number them, and I don't think there is a character limit to the answers, right? So if you have multiple solutions for a particular problem, maybe you can have them as a list, but keep the best one at the top. And you can do multiple submissions if you have a lot of problems you want to solve. Or
does logging MATLAB help us to hit?
Going to select, bro. How many ideas are you going to select, bro?
That's actually dependent, because like if every one of you is going to give an amazing idea, right, then we'll keep a separate session and congratulate all of you and put all your ideas up there. So how many ever are best, we'll.
Bro, only congratulations can we implement those ideas, bro?
You can get a chance to sort of collaborate with the best hackathon teams currently in campus In fact, all of the ACM officer members are part of hackathon team. So you might get an edge over that. So make sure that your idea really stands out.
Yeah, I mean, no one is stopping you from solving it, right?
Yes.
Bro,
Yes.
bro, we have to write solutions to the problem statements you are given, or we have to make our own problem statements and propose solutions.
You can give your own problem statement. If at all you cannot find a problem statement, right, you can just choose one from the samples which we've given and propose your solutions.
Okay, okay.
It's not like you have to give a solution for all. You just choose one problem. Or frame your. We would recommend you to frame your own problem, because that's another skill which is really important.
Bro,
Finding the problem.
Bro, these ideas will be from various of disciplines, that may be some different fields also.
Exactly, yeah. As Darshan said earlier, right? A hackathon team is not just computer science. It's basically all students from across the department. So your problems and your ways of solving need not be just coding. There can be other ways also of solving the problem, right? So
Okay.
since this is just an ideathon, you can go wide.
Bro, what do you mean the proposed solution and plan of action there?
Proposed solution is the solution that you plan on implementing. So let's say you plan on making a ride sharing app. So your proposed solution would be making a ride sharing app that connects car drivers or rentals to customers, and your plan of action would be implementing a mobile application for it using Android or anything. A little bit technical is what is plan of action. If you guys have time, I can show you one of my project video pitches, so that it might help you inspire. Just by a show of hands, I hope I'm not running too late, because it's 7:10 already.
It's fine, we can see.
Cool. I'll just begin sharing right now. Could you guys please confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, it's visible.
This is the team that made Smart Helmet. The team was awarded a lot of laurels, and we have been very active with the entire project. So I hope this inspires you in some way. The project is about a smart helmet, as I mentioned earlier, and here goes nothing.
Road safety has turned into a factor of utmost importance. The paucity of proper navigation system for a two-wheeler vehicle leaves the driver distracted. And the high stress level of drivers induced due to not knowing or not familiar with the routes is one of the leading causes of accidents. Thus, the need for an efficient system ensuring navigation, discipline, and safety is very clear. The brain bucket is designed to ensure a proper navigation, discipline, safety, and recreation. The helmet as a voice-assisted navigation system uniquely designed for a two-wheeler ensuring vocal and visual assistance. A specially designed traffic sign detection system will make sure that the driver is aware of his environment. Predict the possibility of any health hazard during the travel. A specially designed IoT system is installed. As an additional feature, the users can connect their mobile to the model through Bluetooth for any recreational purposes like listening to music or podcasts.
Shortest distances 2.76926559755444027 kilometer.
A Python-based voice-enabled navigation system is programmed to ensure a hassle-free navigation system. An IoT-based Android app connected to the helmet will ensure routing services and smart monitoring through visual data. An OpenCV model is programmed to the Raspberry Pi to analyze and interpret the environment visually. This model detects the traffic signs and symbols, road lanes and road boundaries, which are alerted to the driver vocally through the speakers, and the same is displayed on the small screen for later use.
Stop. Forward. Strike or left. Strike or left. Strike or right.
A bigger vehicle may easily overlook the smaller two-wheeler drivers at night times. To avoid accidents of these sorts, the night safety system installed will help the bigger vehicles recognize a two-wheeler driver. The 12-volt LED strip connected to the controller will turn itself on when the environment goes below 60 lumens of light, that is during a really cloudy day or at night times. As earlier mentioned, the helmet visually perceives the environment. To aid the controller, the camera is installed onto the helmet to collect visual data. Vocal information is passed on to the driver through the speakers installed inside the helmet, which is connected to Raspberry Pi. The navigation paths and the recognized traffic signal are vocally informed throughout the audio system. Health monitor and the health hazard predictor installed collects information through the pulse rate sensor and the temperature sensor attached to the helmet strap. A physically hurt person cannot call for help. The accident alert system will raise an alarm to attract immediate help at that time. This is most helpful in acute situations where immediate help is mandatory. A force on the helmet, that is, when the person falls down, the buzzer will turn on, attracting help. Delivery personnel such as Ola, Uber, and Swiggy highly require this, since all their required features would be integrated in our app. Secondly, anyone interested in tech and automobiles can use this device to get insights about their driving. The market for this kind of product is not yet tapped, and playing this to our advantage, we hope to make a move. And the best part about all this would be the cost versus effectiveness model. At mass production, we hope to see the product at a reasonable price of around $60 to $90. We, the team Brain Bucket, believe that it's a highly necessary accessory that person or people of our generation must invest in. Our primary aim is to make this available to anyone with a two-wheeler vehicle. Initially, with an alpha test round, we hope to take in customer feedback and work towards it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That was how you do video pitch. I think we are running late, so I request everyone to fill in the feedback form, please.
Bro, how do you protect it from climate changes?
We are actually working on the prototype, because since this idea began, all my teammates are from different states in South India, so we haven't really met in the same room to actually work on this product. There are a lot of problems with this entire idea, and we are working towards it. Right? So your question is a lot of food for thought for me. So again, I request everyone to fill in the feedback form. The entire document for the materials that I've used, I have sent it on the chat box, and the Ideathon form. So 3 forms. please do look into that, guys. And in conclusion, I would just like to tell that a hackathon is a very fun place for you to explore a lot of new stuff that that college has to offer, and the entire geeky side of yours can really be replenished via hackathons. So go for it. Don't fear anything in the entire hackathon process, because if not for this hackathon, there's always going to be a next hackathon, right? So yeah, I think there will be a lot of questions regarding hackathon. So you can either contact me via DMs or on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to help. But we'll have to close this session in a few more minutes. So yeah, any questions,
We just
guys?
take some few more questions for like the next 5.
So when you took a cup of hackathon, like when you got started with it?
I started when the lockdown actually began. So that would be sometime in March of 2020. That time I was in my first year and I was tinkering with web development, and I was just getting started with web development. And that's when I came across hackathons. There's this really popular one called Hack Chennai. And I, with a couple of friends of mine, had taken part to it, where we pitched Apada. That was actually my first project. We didn't win anything in that hackathon. And after that, we used to participate in a hackathon every weekend or in a very good frequency. And only after 15 hackathons, we started winning. The first prize that we ever won was on our 17th hackathon, and we won the 3rd place for designing a different method of collecting donations. But from which year we can be able to participate, like which year and all. You can take part right from first year. Right from first year, you can start, exploring hackathons, form teams, because I generally work in sets of different teams. There are teams that I work with in ECA department. There are teams that I work with AI department. So it really depends on your sort of setting with other members and how you get your work done.
Yeah, on a side note, right? Hackathon is not like a computer science only event or something. It's for all. You saw that in SH, even school children are participating in it. So, when you're actually forming teams, right, based on the problem statement, the more diverse your team is, the better you can come up with a solution. It's not just a CSE only event, is my point. And areas are rejected, right? Can you share that failed?
Bro, excuse me, bro.
Yes.
So what we just saw, like your project's example, is
Yes.
that an enough presentation for a hackathon? Like if we present like that, it is enough?
Yes, it is definitely enough, because in fact, this is the video pitch that me and my team presented in Europe. We
Okay.
won the title
It
for
was very
Urban
nice.
Mobility Hackathon, and we also won a hefty cash prize, somewhere
Wow.
around 3 lakh rupees for this.
That's amazing, bro.
So it all depends on your best set of team members who are willing to put in the hard work.
Thank you so much, bro.
Also, in the form that you've given, is the problem statement supposed to be very concise, or like the examples you guys have given, or should we elaborate more in the problem statement itself?
Yeah, you can elaborate.
Okay, thank you.
You can elaborate, but make sure you don't fantasize about your solution, because it needs to be feasible in a very practical manner.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be just 2 or 3 words. Like we just gave those ideas in the samples. You can have triple lines.
Okay, thank you.
One. I think we have answered all the questions. If you have any more questions, guys, please do put it in the feedback form. I request each and every one of you to fill the feedback form, because it is really a good process that we also get and get to hear you on what you expect next and what you want more. So you can put your further questions in the feedback form. We'll definitely take a look at them.
There's this one question that says, can we team up with people from other colleges? Online hackathons require you to, sort of get team members from the same college. But if you plan on, potentially developing a startup, you can get guys from other colleges. It is
And
actually
you have to read the
compliance.
instructions of the hackathon as well, like
Yes.
to get to know about that.
I can send a sample hackathon that is happening like this weekend or next weekend for you guys to explore.
Yeah, and all of you guys are beginners, right? So don't hold yourselves back as to, okay, let me take some more time and learn this and do. No, just go ahead, participate in one. You don't have to win or anything. Like just go. Participating is like 50% of success. Once you participate and you get to know the things, right? Like that will tell you what you need to learn next and what you need to do next in the next hack. That will put you on the path to success. So just go ahead. Don't keep anything holding you back. Participate and get to know what is all required. I think Darshan, they are requesting your thing.
Yeah, I have put it in the chat box. Also, guys, on a side note, this is just the beginning session. There are more value-packed sessions coming up this entire week. I know it is going to be a little hectic with your entire assignment and semesters going on, but try your best to attend, because this is the sort of advice that I used to get from my seniors, and I'm fortunate enough to deliver this back to my juniors.
Anna, I have a doubt.
Yes.
In the forms, the point number 4 and 5, can you please explain that? I feel both are the same. Like, what should I write in both the points?
Do you mean propose solution and
is-
plan of
Yeah.
action, right?
Okay. So in proposed solution, as I explained earlier, if at all you sort of build smart stick for blind people, your solution would be explaining what are the features of your solution, how is it better, and is it already something that is implemented, something like that. And your plan of action would be a little technical. What sort of you need to dive deeper in your features and sort of provide insights as to how you would be able to successfully implement it.
Yeah.
So to give
You can
a
just put
very
your-
C++ analogy, your solution is your pseudo code and your implementation is your actual code.
Yeah, you can just give what idea you have for solving the problem, the solution, idea of how you can solve it. And in the implementation, and that's why we've made it a non-mandatory question. If you have any idea on what technology you are going to use, how you are going to actually implement that particular solution, right? That details you can put, like, I'm going to use a chatbot, or I'm going to use a web application or something like that. Or like Darshan, I'm going to use a smart helmet. Yeah.
Okay.
There are some questions. Where can we find? When will the hackathon be held? So you can stay updated on sites like DevFolio, HackerOr,
Yeah, I
MLH.
posted those links just now in the chat, guys.
These
Those
are
some
events that happen pan India. If at all you want events that happen in your university, you need to stay connected with people who are active in the circuits that you want to pursue, right? Because there will be a PR team for every activity, and they'll try to reach out maximum to everyone, but they can't be sure of reaching out to everyone. So you will also need to show interest.
Right.
Okay. I think the questions are done.
Yeah. We'll conclude the session now, guys. It's 7:30. We're already 30 minutes over time. It's all right. Since you guys are also interested, it keeps us also in the loop. So let me conclude this session by thanking Darshan for taking his time out and giving this amazing talk. I'm sure each and every one of you who did not raise their hand for the first question of do you know what a hackathon is, now would definitely know or have some idea of what a hackathon is. So thank you, Darshan, for this wonderful session.
It's my privilege.
Stay tuned. Yeah. Stay tuned, guys. Tomorrow we have programming 101 session, and for all those who are asking about coding, tomorrow that's going to get demystified. You're gonna love that session as well. So this entire week till 19th we have the sessions lined up. Saturday, Sunday we don't have it. Stay tuned, guys. Have fun.
Bro, hello.
Yeah.
Can you put up the link before you start the session in WhatsApp so that we can be active tomorrow? Day after tomorrow we have midterm, right?
Yeah, that's why we haven't kept it on Saturday. Oh, you mean the video, right?
No, this session link in
The
programming or
joining link.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll send the links to your email ID which you use for registration, and
It
we'll
would-
also circulate
it
it
would-
in the WhatsApp group.
Yes,
for the
on
last
the WhatsApp group. Make sure that you are added to the WhatsApp group, ACM group, either G1, G2, or G3, any one of them.
Yeah, and please be in just one group, guys. Don't be in more than one group.
Can you
G1,
send the
G3.
recording session link also?
As in
And
the
you can join Discord as well. And make sure you have registered in the form, because officially we'll be sending it through your email ID, which you have filled in the form, the meeting joining link. Yeah. Recording, we'll be posting the recording in YouTube as well. We'll share the YouTube link soon. We'll just edit this recording a bit and post it. Anything else, guys? Any last queries? Darshan, do you have any concluding remark? Can you close the session?
I am just overwhelmed with the amount of response that I've got. I mean, side by side, I'm just checking my LinkedIn. People have been DMing me a lot of good questions, and it is just it was a very pumping session for me as well to conduct this. I'm very thankful to you.
Awesome. Yeah, it's your enthusiasm, guys, that keeps us going with these sessions. So I guess it's going to be a pretty hectic day for Darshan now, taking it up on LinkedIn. Sorry, someone had a question?
Bro, can we make hackathons with seniors?
Yes, you can
As it-
definitely. I mean, it is just, what relation you share with the seniors. See, I have approached a lot of seniors, and fortunate enough, they have taken me into that teams. But there have been some seniors who have told me, no, okay, you're probably not the best in this domain. Why don't you find another team? So it is all about how you approach a senior and how you pitch your idea that gets them excited and gets them on board with your idea.
Yeah.
Okay, bro.
And right now, I would recommend you guys to first get a hands-on by participating in some hackathon. Don't worry about getting the best in the field, because right now this is your first hackathon, right? Find a team with whom you can work together, with whom you can learn,
Gel well.
right? Gel well, and you all share the passion to learn. So just get a team, and then you don't have to stay with the same team always, right? So just participate in your first hackathon, and you'll get to know what.
Bro, are these hackathon participation are paid or they are like free?
Many of them are actually free, but there are certain hackathons that require you to pay a small amount of registration fee. You can skip the ones that are paid unless you are too keen that okay, TK, your project is very much aligned with the themes of the paid hackathon. Go for it. But
Yeah,
many
later
of
on
the
some
events are actually free.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
later on down the line, if you have some project already and you find a hackathon that is paid, but that would actually give you a platform to launch your project, then that is after all your initial
Yes, thanks.
exploration. All right, guys, we'll close the session for today. Stay tuned for tomorrow's session. Programming 101 by Meenakshi is coming up.
Yeah.
And on Monday, we have Data Structures 101 by your beloved Sriram Gianna, who's software engineer at Google. We saw a lot of feedback requesting to have him take another session. So we have invited him for that session. And yeah, the entire week we have all experts giving you these 101 sessions. So stay tuned, guys. Good night.
Good night. It was lovely being here.
Same.